I wrote this. Moonlight Mystique is something I'm watching right now, and sadly, like most dramas I've been watching, it's actually using all the same tropes and all the same whatevers that I hate, and it's gone like this. I was enjoying it, and are you kidding me they did that? Well, there's that. Well, there's that. The flippin' main female character is literally taking over everything. The main guy has floated back into the background as an insignificant, can't even think for himself anymore. He literally cannot think for himself, for his own situations, or for anything else going on. She literally took over everything. She controls everything. And I'm like, not supposed to be talking about that drama. But I am not enjoying it right now. I'm like really mad at it. But here you go, an example of. See, when I was writing it, I realized part of the problem is that it's because all of these dramas, so many of these dramas, they for some reason have got it in their head that a man and a woman are supposed to protect each other in exactly the same way, with exactly the same tools. In other words, taking Moonlight Mystique as example, we are told, spent like 3 years, which was already, from my impression, that was a very short amount of time for him to gather that amount of power. With no help from anybody, doing it all by himself, figuring everything out, he went from a nobody to being literally the king of a palace and a whole region that he is apparently ruled over with compassion and wisdom and care. And he seems cold-hearted, but he's actually not, because anybody paying attention knows that he's doing it because he's trying to protect people, especially the innocent and the weak. And he's built this whole region that everybody, other demons and humans and anybody that's heard of it, gets lost in there or is afraid to even go there because it's so powerful and so because of him. Within 3 years, he built this amazing kingdom. Then along comes this female lead who is a nobody that's got no power of her own, and she's literally handed everything. And they're like, oh, but she still has to make it her own, you know? But then along comes this instance where she's making it her own, and the secondary character goes, wow, she did that so fast. And I'm like, what do you mean, wow, she did it so fast? This is literally how it always goes with the women. They start as nobodies, and then all of a sudden they like shoot up even faster than the male lead did. So everything he's ever done in the past is like, the girl can always do it better. That is literally what's happening. Because they've up and decided that a guy and a girl protect each other in exactly the same way. So because he's using actual power and physically like protecting her, she has to do it the exact same way for him. And this is actually not true. Men and women have different ways of protecting each other. We have different strengths. We have different abilities. Men and women are not created the same. We have our own things. And like when you get a story like a love story paper, oiled paper umbrella, and a story like Love Game in Eastern Fantasy, pay attention. Because the guy is protecting the girl like a guy does, and the girl is protecting the guy like a girl does. There is something completely different about the dynamic of the relationships in these two drama and relationships in dramas like Moonlight Mystique, which is extremely common, of all the stories that I end up hating. And this is a big reason why, is because I can't stand the couples anymore. Usually it's the girl I can't stand. Especially when the girl just takes over the whole story the way that the girl is in Moonlight Mystique. She's literally taking over everything. Even when it's his story about his background with his lost brother, it's her controlling it. It's her deciding things. It's her that the story is focused on. We keep going over there to watch her so wisely, knowing that there's something fishy, and instead of watching him and his reactions and his whatever. And we have secondary, another girl, going, yeah, well, it's too late. There's absolutely nothing you can go do to save him or to change him or whatever. I'm like, how do you know this? Where does this come from? We just learned through the whole story of her and what she got to do with her brother and her father and all of this stuff. And then she up and decides that why? What gives you the right to say that? Where did that come from? Excuse me. And then his whole story with his whole reunion was like, gone. But the whole story with her and her sister and her whatever is taking through the whole drama. And it's her controlling it as well. He barely has said anything and it's all focused. Like, for the love of my sanity, she has taken over and I hate it. This whole drama, I'm not supposed to be talking about it. My gosh. But comparisons, sometimes you just really need comparisons. Moonlight Mystique is a good example of what happens way too often in these dramas, and this is what's going on. They're like, nope, women and men are exactly the same, and we protect each other exactly the same way, and we like, and that's not true.